This is how we do it.
Good afternoon everyone, it's me Frankie. In today's video you'll get to learn about how to create awesome video content using Adobe Premiere Pro. Now before I start this video, I want to let you all know that I would recommend getting the free trial for Adobe Creative Cloud, and the reason I mention this is because you'll get access to a wide variety of programs including Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro, which is the one I'll show you, and Adobe InStudio, which are just some of the ones that Adobe Creative Cloud comes with. If you want to get access to that, I'll drop the link down in the description below. Are you ready? Let's get started. So on Adobe Premiere Pro, there's of course a lot of different things you can do in order to make awesome video content to display your videos, but the first thing I'll show you today is how to create an awesome title. There's a couple of ways to do this, but I'll show you the most simplest way to do it. So the first thing to do in order to create an awesome title for your videos is to first have a video clip to display, and I'll show you how to do that. So from your little box that you have next to your timeline to your left, select a video clip that you have. Here's one that I've created from a previous video for a project. The first thing you do is play the video clip for a few seconds. You should grab and hold your video clip and move it onto your timeline. After that, you'll get access to viewing your video from the right side of the screen, and also you'll get to see it on your timeline as well. And after that, you get to see a little T down here, and you click on it, type tool, and then anywhere on the screen you will be able to create a little box. You can make it as big or small as you want. I'll make it about this big. Then after that, you could type in your title, and for this I'll type it I'll type Neighborhood Adventures. As you can see, it might be a little tough to view it because it's white, but there's different ways to change the font. First you highlight the title. After that you go to Assembly. Then you go right here to where it says Source, and you'll get an option of what font you like to use. So on the left side of your screen you'll get access to the Effect Controls tab, and on there you'll be able to change the font of your text. So you have the option of choosing different font styles to the left side of your screen there on the Effects Controls tab. You can change it to any font you wish you like. I prefer Microsoft Tiley because it's really simple and basic. You have the option of making the text regular or bold right here on this side to your left on the effects control, and you can also even change the size. Right now it's at 100, but if I want to make it bigger, just choose the number and highlight the text and make it bigger. Another option you have is to move the text box in front of your video in order to make it appear in the dark background, which is what I highly recommend because it allows it to be more visible and clear to the audience to see. Something you could do in order to improve your video content that you have is to add music to it, and there's a couple of ways you can do it, but the most convenient way I recommend is through Bensound. Okay, so once you're on bensound.com, you have the options of choosing several different song titles that are listed on the website, whether it's Better Days, Buddy, Dubstep, Sunny, and so forth. And you have the option of downloading these for free, which is a big advantage for you as a film content creator, which allows you to choose different songs to match your videos. arrow button here and play the song to see if you like it for a few seconds. And I would recommend choosing like a couple of sample ones to see which one you like the most, because each of them sounds differently. The next thing you do is click on the download button next to it, and it'll give you the option of downloading it for free, or if you want the pro license, you're gonna have to pay a little bit. I usually go with the free Creative Commons license. So after that, I click the download button one more time. Then it'll download on your computer. Whether you have a Mac or PC, doesn't matter. So after the song is finished downloading, you go down here to the bottom left side of your screen and click the arrow and move to where it says open to open the file. And it should take you to where it is. In this case, it'll be on Windows Media Maker, but usually it'll appear on your downloads file, and the easiest way to check is through your folder on your desktop. So you open that, and then you move over to where the downloads folder is and search for it. In this case, it was called Bensound. Alright, so once you're in your downloads folder, all you do is search for it by clicking Bensound, and if you remember the name of the song, go ahead and type that too, or you could just scroll down to where it says Bensound and remember the name of the song. In this case, there was a couple. The first one was called Endless Motion and the other one was Moose. And you could always replay them to remember how they sound on the Windows Media Player. After doing all that, then you finally have the option of moving them into your timeline on Adobe Premiere, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. The thing to do is import the music files you just selected into Adobe Premiere, and the way to do that is by going over here to your left to File, and then go to Import. After that, you scroll over to your Downloads folder on the left side of your screen and search for the two videos you want to add. In this case, I want to choose Bensound Endless Motion as the first one, and the second one will be called Bensound Moose, and they'll appear on the left side of your screen right next to the timeline where it says project. In this case, I called it Sample Demo. You double click on them for them to appear on the top left screen on your computer once you're on Adobe Premiere Pro, and then you play it for about 5 seconds. After doing that, you have to click on the selector tool, which is located right here on the middle bottom screen of your computer, and then click and hold this music thingy to move it onto your timeline. You could place it either on audio 1 track or your second audio track. In this case, I'll move it to the second audio track. After that, you'll be able to listen to the music after that for as many seconds as you want it. And something else you could do is cut it after every 5 or 10 seconds, and to do that, you click on this button right here called Markout wherever you want on the screen. And say I want it at 18 seconds, cut it there, or at 10. And then you could do the same thing by dragging the audio onto your timeline and then hearing it after. So you are allowed to use multiple songs throughout your video, which is a big advantage with Adobe Premiere, as long as you know how to place it in the right spot in your timeline. So I can use a different song like this one called Bensound Mouse for another part of the video. So once again, after 5 seconds, I could cut it off using markout, and then click and hold the drag audio button onto the spot where you like to put the video clip for. In this case, I'll place it right here. And then to check to see if it's in the right spot, just click on the video. And once you're satisfied, you could make it longer. It doesn't have to be 5 seconds, but I'm just showing you that as an example. The other options you have to download music onto Adobe Premiere is one, YouTube, and the other one is called SoundClick. But I'll talk about YouTube first. So after your song finishes downloading from this website, you'll get access to it through the downloads folder, which I talked about earlier, where you could find it again. And after that, you'll be able to listen to it for a few seconds. After that, you go back to Adobe Premiere and do the same thing you did with Bensound, which is go through here, File, Import, and it'll take you directly to your downloads folder, and then scroll down to where your video is. So this one is called This Is How We Do It. Click on the file, open it, and it'll appear on the box to your left. And for it to appear here again, just double click and it'll show up. So after your song finishes downloading from this website, you'll get access to it through the downloads folder, which I talked about earlier, where you could find it again. And after that, you'll be able to listen to it for a few seconds. After that, you go back to Adobe Premiere and do the same thing you did with Bensound, which is go through here, File, Import, and it'll take you directly to your downloads folder, and then scroll down to where your video is. So this one is called This Is How We Do It. Click on the file, open it, and it'll appear on the box to your left. And for it to appear here again, just double click and it'll show up. Okay, so after you've downloaded the song, you go onto your box up here to your upper left hand corner, and then you play the song for as long as you want. Stop it right there. As I mentioned earlier, you grab the drag audio only and drag it down here to your audio box. And then to make sure that it's the right song that you chose, just play it right here on your video. Once you have your song up here, you press the play button right here to hear it. I'll stop it right around there, and after that you click and hold the drag audio only and move it over here to your audio section of your timeline in Adobe Premiere Pro. And then it's always good to listen to it to make sure you got the right piece of the song. So I'll play it for you. And after that, you're set to go. So the third and final option you have for downloading music onto Adobe Premiere Pro is going to mp3juices.cc, which is right here. So once you're on this website, you could type in any song you want. So I'll type in Michael Jackson, for example. And then you get a list of all the songs that he has, especially the most common ones. And you have the option of playing them before downloading the actual song, just to hear the quality of the song. After downloading the song, you'll have to go down here again, as I mentioned earlier, and go to Open. And it should take you to your Downloads folder. And then you search for the file. In this case, it was called Michael Jackson Billie Jean. So you scroll down. So after you've searched for the song, you could play it on Windows Media Player for about 5 seconds. And next we go back to Adobe Premiere. And we do what we did earlier for YouTube Music and Bensound, which is to simply go to File and scroll down to Import, which will take you to the Downloads folder, and you look for your file. After that, click on your music video file and then Open. After that, double click on the video you want to listen to and let it play. And as I've mentioned earlier, click on the drag audio and drag it down your timeline. In this case, I'll put it on the end of the video. So after you've moved the video clip onto your timeline, it's always good to double check just to make sure you have the right one on. So I'll play it one more time. And after that, you're set to go. So the next thing I want to talk to you all about is video transitions, and this is important because sometimes when you want to create an awesome video using Adobe Premiere Pro, having great video transitions is a good thing to make your video more appealing. Now I'll show you the different types of video transitions that you're able to use in Adobe Premiere. So if you go to your right side of your screen on the Effects tab, you'll have to double click on the folder that says Video Transitions, and then you'll get a list of the ones you could use. And the ones you're available to use are 3D Motion, Dissolve, Immerse Video, Iris, Page Peel, Slide, Wipe, and Zoom. So once you've moved the cube spin onto your timeline, you could play the video. And right there you'll get to see the transition being applied. So I'll show it to you once more to see how it looks. So right there you get to see it, the transition applied in action called cube spin. Okay, so after you move the little square onto your timeline, you can play the video, and I'll show you how it looks right now. So once it's on the timeline, you could play and see the effects. I'll play it for you guys. I'll do it once more to show you what exactly happens. As you can tell, the top part of the screen turns white, which means that the effect has been applied. The third different video transition you could apply using Adobe Premiere is called Page Peel. So by double clicking the folder right here, you'll get two options. So I'll use the first one called Page Peel. So as I mentioned before, you drag and drop it right in between the two scenes. Okay, so after you move the effect onto your timeline, you could play it just to make sure it comes out how you want it. So I'll play it one more time so you can see it again. And after that, you can move along with other transitions that you may want to apply later in the video. So the fourth point I'll be talking to you all about is called the slide effect transition, which is located under your Effects tab on the right side of your screen next to the timeline and the program. So that once you click on the slide folder, you're given 5 different options to choose from. Click and hold on the square located here and drag it between the 2 scenes that you want to locate it on, and play it right after. I'll play it again once more just to show you how it looks like. So as you can see, there's a great band slide transition effect right there between the 2 scenes, which is a good thing to have to make your videos look more awesome and appealing. So the 5th and final effect I'll show you all here today is called the wipe effect, which is probably one of my favorites because you're given so many options to choose from. And I'll show you the one called barn doors, which is one of my favorite ones to choose from all of them. So here I go. Move it in between the 2 clips. Well, in this case before one clip and another, which is something else you could do. And then play it. So I'll play the scene for you guys for a few seconds. As you can tell, there's times where you could also place the effect thingy right before the start of another scene, which also makes your video awesome because it catches viewers' attention even more. So I'll play the scene for you guys for a few seconds. As you can tell, you could also apply the video transition right at the end of one scene going to another, and by doing this you get a nice effect on your video as well, which makes it more appealing for audience members to watch and enjoy your video with this happening. So the last main thing I'll show you all that you could use in Adobe Premiere is called the razor tool, which is located between your timeline and video box on the lower side of your screen. So by clicking on the razor, your video clip that you don't want. For example, if I want to cut off this part, all I have to do is place the tool right where you want the video clip to be cut off, and then cut it off again to where you want it to continue. So in this case it'll be here, and then again it'll be here. And then you move back to the selector tool, which is the top arrow in the middle of the 2 lower screens. And to get rid of that clip that you don't want, all you have to do is click on the little scene you don't want and click backspace on your computer, and it's gone. And to cut the little gap in between that was left by the unwanted scene, all you have to do is click on the timeline and click the backspace button one more time, and you're good to go. So I'll show you guys a different scene where you could apply the razor tool once again. So in this scene, the part I want to remove is right there. That short part that's a bit uneven when recording. So all I have to do is scroll back to where it was, which is around 2504. Click the selector tool and press it right there, and then go over to the other part that you want to keep, which is around 2619, and click the razor tool one more time. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you could press the selection tool and click on the unwanted scene and press backspace and you remove it. And then to put everything together again, just click backspace again. That happens, you could simply just move all the clips together, and by doing that you highlight the video clip that you want and move and drag and hold to the left side of your screen on the timeline until you get to the other clip that you want to combine together. And then you'll have a very clean, crisp, and beautiful video from start to finish by applying the razor tool anytime you want. So the final thing I'll show you all here today that you can use in Adobe Premiere Pro is called the selection tool, which I may have mentioned earlier when talking about the razor tool, but the difference between them is that with the selection tool, it's true that you could also highlight any clip you want, but the difference between the selection tool and the razor tool is that you could lengthen or shorten a certain video clip to your desire, and I'll show you how to do that. So in order to shorten or lengthen a certain video clip, first you have to get to the part that you want. So this is the video clip I'm going to try to make a little longer. So by doing that, all you have to do is click on your timeline and highlight the certain scene that you want to make longer or shorter. In this case, I'll make it longer. And to make it longer, all you have to do is click and hold the little red arrow button that appears on your screen, and you can make it as long as you want. In this case, I'll probably make it about 10 seconds longer. And to see the difference, all you have to do is play the scene. And with that, you'll get to have a longer video clip, and if you want to make it shorter, all you have to do is click on the same scene and move the red arrow towards your left, right there. And I'll play that for you guys. As you can tell, that made the video clip shorter. Okay. Oh, the last thing I want to mention to you all about the selection tool thing that you could apply is that it works for audio tracks too, in terms of making them shorter or longer. And by doing that, you go to the piece that you want to make shorter or longer. In this case, I'll make it shorter by moving it towards the left side of your audio tracks screen and closer to the video file. Or in reverse, if you want to make it longer, just move it to the right and you're good to go. So the last thing I want to let you all know about when using the selection tool in Adobe Premiere Pro is that you could apply it for audio tracks as well, not just video tracks, and you can make them longer or shorter by moving the clip to your left to make it shorter or to the right to make it longer. The choice is yours. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and stay tuned for next week's video. Just for your information, I want to let you all know that next week's video will be my first live outdoor video, so stay tuned for that, and remember to stay positive.
We do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up.